Hello everyone, my name is Mr. T, and I run the Building Dreams After School program. So today we're going to be doing a Flamingo. Now, I would say out of all the models, the Flamingo can be the trickiest. It has less pieces than the Lion, while the Lion is a little bit more intricate. The Flamingo does require you to have glue. If you don't or didn't get any glue with your kit, normally I keep these in little cups. You may want to try to find a little bit of Elmer's glue. The reason being, if we take a look at this model, it will stand up on its own. I'm kind of balancing mine right now because it kind of got smushed in my bag. So while it will stand, mine doesn't have glue to glue. The single leg is actually made up of 2 pieces of cardboard, and these 2 pieces really should be glued together. If you accidentally pinch your cardboard at the kneecap right here and here, your model unfortunately will not stand. So that's something to keep in mind, but I'm going to go ahead and show you how you can assemble your Flamingo. So if we take a look at our model, the first pieces that we will need are again going to be the center pieces. So if you look at your actual center piece, it will look like the one that has the fully attached head to the body, which is this piece right here. It has 2 circular notches, one kind of in the neck area and one in the body, as well as these notches going across the back. Go ahead and pop that one out now. So that piece that I was referring to looks like this one right here. Again, I cleaned out the section where the neck and the body was. The next pieces you're going to need are going to be kind of this H-shaped piece. The wider channel you'll want to be facing up, and this will actually go into the neck slot right here. What you're going to do is you're going to take this top corner right here and slide the top corner in first. You'll lift it up all the way, and you should be able to slide the bottom section in and slide it down just like that right there. So I'll do that one more time. So again, this top corner right here, I'm going to slide that into the neck portion with the top going in first. And again, if you put it all the way down, the bottom should be able to clear that notch. And then we're going to slide it all the way down, that way it lays flat, just like that right there. These 2 little spaces on the side, we're eventually going to put the additional heads into that, but we want our second piece, which will look like this piece right here. So go ahead and grab this piece now. If you take a look at your board, it's located kind of off center towards one of the edges. It has 2 notches in the bottom and kind of a plateau shape at the top. We're going to go ahead and insert this into our Flamingo with this top piece facing forward, just like that. So we have our first 3 pieces assembled. We put our H with the big gap facing up, and then these 2 pieces with the notches facing towards the back. So for the next 2 pieces, go ahead and pop out the heads of the Flamingo. They will look like this. They'll have heads and necks. These 2 pieces are really relatively easy to assemble. They basically not only line up with this head, but you'll slide them into this little gap right here. 1 and 2. If they don't slide down all the way, you may just need to reposition it, but it should lay flush and flat. And again, the eyeball of mine kind of messed up when I ran this one, but hopefully yours looks like that right there. I try to check everyone to make sure that they're going to be usable. But basically we just put the head and neck positions on the left and right, and again made sure that there was space, that way it could fit into that gap. So once we have the 2 head pieces in place, we are going to go ahead and grab the 2 body pieces. They'll look like this. They have a notch in the neck area, one in the body, and then the bird feather tail kind of goes at a teardrop towards the bottom. Go ahead and grab both of those now. It doesn't really matter which side you put this on. This can be the left and this one can be the right, or vice versa. But what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to go ahead and slide this into position. We're going to line it up with the center one first and make sure that slides all the way down and into place just like that. And again, make sure that these hooks are facing towards the back of the bird, because that's eventually where the legs will attach to. So we have one on the right, and it should snap into place, and one on the left, and that should snap into place. Now we will need a little bit of space for the legs to go in, and the way that the actual back slides in, there's a bunch of these U pieces that look like this right here. There's actually a total of 4. If we take a look at the back, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, you can do this a number of different ways depending upon if you're actually gluing this together or not. If you're gluing this together, I would recommend that you put them in now. That way you'll have space to put this in. If you're not gluing them in, then you can put them in later. So again, if you're actually gluing your bird together, you're definitely going to want to put these in sooner rather than later. That way, if your cardboard ends up getting hard and you can't make space to put that in, I would definitely do that now. But if you're not gluing your bird together, you can definitely wait and do that later. I'm going to go ahead and put my 4 back pieces in, and again that gives the bird a little bit of 3-dimension. We're going to give it a little squeeze. The outer 2 parts of the body kind of flop a little bit, and that's because we haven't put the wings into place. But what we're going to do is we're going to grab the outer wings. It should look like this right here, and that right there. They're located towards the edge of your board. These actually face down, and you'll just slide it in place and press it on, and it'll actually lock everything into place. That's the right side. We're going to put our left side into place just like this. Give it a squeeze, and everything should stay. Again, if you're having issues getting this locked in, I would definitely recommend that you put some glue on the outer wing here and here, as well as a little bit of glue on these 2 pieces on the tabs right here. If the student ends up bending their cardboard a little bit, or if it gets a little bit wrinkly, this is probably the weaker spot out of all the pieces, is this section right here. This will really hold your flamingo together, that way it doesn't flop apart. But just this right there, we have a swimming flamingo. If we just wanted to use this as a decoration, we could. But we want to have a standing flamingo. So what we're going to do is, if you look for a piece that has 4 holes, it's kind of like a potato shape. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go ahead and poke those 4 out, as well as a smaller piece that has 1 hole and 2 notches. So these are the 2 pieces that we want. Go ahead and punch these out now. They are located one's towards the corner right here. The other one is located over here. Now the way that this is going to work is the foot, or the leg, which looks like this piece right here, you will have 2 of them. One will have kind of like this boot shaped piece on the bottom of the foot. The other one does not. Okay, so we have these 2 pieces. What I would first recommend that you do, if you have glue, that you glue these 2 pieces together. Now you're gonna want the one without the boot. So this one has the boot, this one doesn't. You're gonna want the one without the boot to be on the right. So this is the left side, it has the boot. You're gonna wanna take some glue, put it between these two, and this one's on the right side, the one without the boot. Glue these two together, that way it is strong. Unfortunately, when it comes to the standing flamingo, I would probably say this is the weakest piece. When this was designed, it was actually designed using wood versus cardboard, so unfortunately, because of the weight of our model, it really does stress and press down on this piece. But if we glue these two pieces together now, it'll be very strong. So for just the sake of this example, I'm not going to glue mine together, but remember, I accidentally crushed my flamingo's legs. Its right legs. These two are supposed to be connected, and as you can see, there's a gap in between, so our flamingo is not going to be standing too well. But this boot piece right here goes into this hole. So again, insert the boot leg into the hole. There should be a notch to the left right here, as well as one at the heel of the bird right here. And then the non-boot leg will be on the right. So these three pieces will look something like this. Left side, got the notch at the heel. On the right side was the additional leg. These three pieces should look like this. We want these three pieces to be very strong. You can put a little bit of additional glue here on the bottom. That way it stays flat. And this piece is going to attach to this piece right here by putting it in this hole. Again, we want these two holes to line up. So I'm going to grab this one. It's going to go into that hole. We have a little bit of a notch that lines up with this hole here and a notch on the back. So when I go to press this in, like that, you can also glue this into place, that way it stays, but if you insert it in, it should stay on its own. If we look at the hole, the notch lines up with that one, lines up with that one. This is the heel, that's the left. And as you can see, this stands up like that, but again, when we put all this weight on there, we're going to run into problems. We have 3 additional holes into this base. Now the way that this is supposed to work is you have these grass pieces. The grass piece, the biggest one, goes in the back where the heel is, and that should press straight in like that right there. And then you have 2 very small grass pieces. One goes in the side to lock the platform in, and one goes in the back. You can definitely glue these into place or paint them, that way they stay a little bit better. Just to kind of give you an example, that's what it looks like if I were to put that there. Again, the big one goes in back, and then you can add the other grass piece right there. So again, if I had glue, the base would look something like this, and I'll briefly show it to you again. Got our base with the platform. We have our leg, the left piece, not the left leg, but the left right leg is in the platform. The small grass is to the left. Got the tall grass right behind it. And then the secondary leg that didn't have a boot is glued to the right. Once you have these 2 pieces, you can give this top part a little bit of a squeeze. We're going to fit this notch into the bottom right here to where it will slide in and lock into place just like this right here. So it'll slide in and lock into place. And then the only thing else that's left is you have your actual left leg that will again go into the bottom, and we're gonna put it into that notch that's right there where my finger is. So you're gonna take that, slide it in, and again, it may be a little bit hard for some students to see, but you're gonna press that in and slide that in. I'll do that one more time, that way to make sure everyone can see. I'm actually gonna take my bird apart, that way you can see what the inside looks like. It's sliding onto this tab right here. So basically what it looks like with it closed, you're basically sliding it into place right here and it locks into place. If it makes it easier, you can definitely take it apart, but if you're using glue, it's just a little bit easier to have those pieces already there. So you have options. So again, once you have both legs in there, make sure that your pieces are on and solid. Put the wing back on. That way it'll lock everything into place. And hopefully, with having that double-legged modification that I recently added on there, your Flamingo should be able to stand. Mine's a little bit wobbly just because I don't have this piece glued on there. But it's actually a very nice design. Unfortunately, like I said, if students are a little bit rough with their models, it may not stand long term, but it still makes a very beautiful kind of design, even if you wanted to have it on your desk as a swimming kind of either flamingo or swan. More of a flamingo since they have a longer beak, but it's still a very nice design. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a moment to review some of the facts about flamingos, and then we'll summarize our activity. Flamingos are famous for their bright pink feathers, stilt-like legs, and S-shaped neck. When a flamingo spots potential dinner, favorite foods include shrimp, snails, and plant-like water organisms called algae. It plunges its head into the water, twists it upside down, and scoops the fish using its upper beak like a shovel. They are able to run on water thanks to their webbed feet to gain speed before lifting into the sky. Flamingos build nests that look like mounds of mud along the waterways. At the top of the mound, in a shallow hole, the female lays one egg. The parents take turns sitting on the egg to keep it warm. After about 30 days, the egg hatches. The birds are about 36 to 50 inches tall with a wingspan of about 60 inches wide. Even though the bird is so tall, it only weighs about 9 pounds. They can live everywhere from mountains to flatlands as long as they have plenty of access to food and water sources. Flamingos also tend to flock together. Wherever they may be, colonies in the wild will contain thousands of birds. When you see flamingos at the zoo, you will find that they are placed with 50 to 20 other flamingos at least. This is because flamingos thrive on social interaction and do not thrive if they have to live alone. I appreciate everyone watching today. I hope you had a lot of fun making your models, and hopefully today you learned something new. This is Mr. T, and I'll see you next time.